Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Single Tracks Podcast. My name is Jeff, and today my guest is Joe, the Calirado Kid. Joe is a Sacramento based mountain bike content creator known for posting hilarious bike related videos on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. This summer, he's teaming up with a nonprofit organization called Adventure Scientists to encourage riders to help document biodiversity in California. Thanks for joining me, Joe.
Stoked to be here, man. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Well, so a lot of your videos, which I think most of our listeners have probably seen, are really funny, in part because they're so relatable. So I'm curious to know kind of your mountain biking story. Like, how'd you get into mountain biking? How long have you been riding? All of that stuff.
Yeah, it's so funny when it comes to the relatability thing. Like a lot of people are like, where do the ideas come from? And it's like, I've done all these things. I've walked into a bike shop and didn't know that the bike didn't come with pedals. So a lot of these jokes stem from the stuff I've experienced from beginning to now. And
Hmm.
so, I'm still fumbling along the way. I like, if you asked me to set up my suspension, it would be impossible. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
So to this day, I still don't know everything about bikes. And so I'm still learning. And every time I learn something, it's something funny I can put in a video, which is cool.
Hmm.
So it's been a cool journey. And I've told this story before, but essentially it all started with my buddy Brian, BKXC. He was out
Hmm.
riding and he started a YouTube channel and we were friends growing up. So I didn't even mountain bike at the time, but I just kind of started watching his channel to support him. Like,
Hmm.
it's like me and his mom just saying, like, dude, you're doing great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was watching the videos religiously. I was watching him ride and the adventures he was going on. And like it took me a while to really settle in and realize that maybe I could try to do that.
Hmm.
And when I finally got a used Bronson, I picked it up. I went to a ride in Tahoe and almost died because the elevation is like 7,000 feet. I get up to the top, a suffer fest, and then you see that first viewpoint and you look out on the lake and it was like I
Hmm.
was hooked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it was a good filter for mountain biking because you have to be somewhat of a glutton for punishment,
Hmm.
unless you're on an
Yeah.
e-bike these days, apparently. But you've got to like be able to climb and get into weird adventures and like suffer a little bit to get the joy from the descents or whatever you're doing. Like
Hmm.
it's not an easy thing to do. And so like if you that first ride was great because I suffered a lot on the climb, but I was still hooked. So I knew I'd be good for this.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I mean, do you worry like once you are more experienced and you're not like learning new stuff anymore that you're not going to be funny anymore? Like, are you going to get to
No,
a
no,
point
there's
where you're like,
always
I'm the
ideas.
expert? Yeah.
There's always ideas. There's always different ways to spin it. You could do
Hmm.
something that's like a skit based thing. You could do something that's like there's a million ways to make the same video or like the same concept into a different type of funny. So
Hmm.
that's always fun because creatively we've always got to adjust and adapt and that's part of the challenge now. The funnest part of the challenge is like after you've been doing it for years, how do you keep coming up with new stuff? It's that adaptability. You can
Hmm.
maybe try a different technique. You can like and that's one of the funnest things for me. Some
Yeah.
of the videos I shoot are way out there, and I don't know if they're going to do well or not. But sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But it's like the creative challenge for me is the funnest part. I'm a bit selfish in that regard. Like when I put together something especially challenging and something that I think is really fun to shoot, it
Hmm.
doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do well. But it's like I had so much fun making it; it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
do you have a background in comedy or
No,
science since
not
we're talking
really,
about
not
science
really.
stuff?
I had a job that was very technical based, and I found myself losing what I thought was my creativity. Like I always prided myself on being able to improvise and all that stuff, and I just felt like I was kind of losing a little bit of that. So
Mm.
when I started the channel, I kind of started small and just made little jokes on rides and stuff, and I definitely like may have overcompensated a little bit on this whole thing. But yeah, yeah. Now we're just in this buffoonery level that's been great. People put up with me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's awesome. It's awesome to see that because I mean, I can't think of a lot of people before you that were doing that kind of content within the mountain bike world.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty rare. Like not
seems
in the
like it
social
works.
space, for example. Like
Yeah.
Bobo was a living legend and still is. Like he pioneered this stuff on YouTube, doing long form skits and things like that. And he was definitely an inspiration. Um, but yeah, in the social media space, it's pretty rare to see. And I'm always keeping an eye out because I love to help people like be more successful and come up. So anytime they have questions for me, I ask if we can get together and shoot a skit together or something to help them out and teach them some things. We did a content creator clinic recently in Bentonville that was really
Hmm.
fun and it was a good chance to like get hands on with people and show them the process. So we kind of like,
Hmm.
I had a concept for a video. We all kind of collaborated together. I like got some ideas from the crowd, and then we all made a video. And I showed them the whole thing, like from start to
Oh,
finish,
wow.
essentially shooting, concepting, a little bit of rough editing, and then. Luckily, the video did well. It would have been bad if it did bad. It would have been funny, but no, it did like 500,000 views across multiple platforms, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. It's really cool to see all this different kind of mountain bike content now because just a few years ago it was like seems like almost everything you saw was just like a shred it, right? It was like pro
Yeah.
riders doing stuff that all of us would love to be able to do but can't. But yeah, obviously you're bringing a more relatable side to mountain biking and seems like it's really, really working out.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like people understanding that there's no wrong way to enjoy a bike. Like
Mm,
you can go do jumps nonstop, all that's all you do, and that's a blast. Like you could go do XC riding, and that's all you do, and it's a blast. You could go do, God forbid, gravel biking, but it's a blast. No, I'm kidding. Gravel biking is fun, but like you know what I mean. Like there's no wrong way to enjoy a bike, and I love that there's so many ways to do that. And I
mm,
think the shredits are important, but I also think like when I go on a ride, we get into a lot of hijinks, and so we try to capture that fun level of the sport. Because when I go out there, none of us are serious. We're just having a blast. We're just like, you know, so it's good that that translates into what we're doing.
yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask you about that. I mean, it seems like as mountain bikers, a lot of times we do take riding pretty seriously. Do you think in general we take it too seriously?
I think people get their own enjoyment in different ways, right? Like,
Hmm.
so if somebody's super hardcore, like triathlete sort of thing, where all they do is train nonstop, but they must get enjoyment out of that, right? It can't all be
Right.
punishment.
Yeah.
But me, I'm going out and I'm stopping on rides. I'm constantly looking at, and this brings into the biodiversity stuff. But I'm constantly looking at creatures on the trail side. I'm like, oh, I found this spider. Look at this. And people that have followed the channel long enough know if they're on Instagram on my stories, I'm constantly like getting distracted on rides, especially
Mm.
if I'm by myself. If I'm by myself, I'm not getting anything done. I'm gonna like, oh, look at this beehive I found. Like
Yeah.
constantly getting distracted. And I that's to me that's part of it. Like I stop for the views. I'm not necessarily like I don't need to set a Strava time. Like if I'm in Downeyville, I pull over and I look at the river like hundreds of feet down below off the ravine, and I just sit there and admire it for a little bit, and then I keep
Yeah.
riding. And I've always been like that, and I think that's to me part of the enjoyment. Like right, so
Mm.
it's and but again, everybody enjoys it differently, and so it's I love exploration, man. It turns out that's the driving factor. I love to see new things and
Mm.
experience new stuff.
Yeah, yeah, same. That's awesome. So you're known for saying that behind every great mountain biker is a great excuse,
Hmm.
which I love that. Why do you think we like to make so many excuses around mountain biking?
Because we don't want to look bad in front of our friends. Look, if your friend shows up and he's super fit and he's been riding every day for like 3 weeks and you haven't ridden in 2 weeks, you know what I mean? You're gonna
Yeah.
get dusted. So you got to have something lined up, and hopefully it's like something that's not related to your inadequacy. It's got to be like, say, elevation. Like you're at four
Right.
thousand feet. That's the problem. That's why I can't breathe. It's not because I didn't work out. It's because the elevation's 4,000. You know,
Right.
and it's a
Yep.
lot harder. That's all.
Yeah. What are some of the most effective ones that you use yourself that
Oh
people are
man.
like, "Oh, that's a good one."
Yeah. Elevation 100% works. I could say like, oh, this is these are some new tires I'm running here. I'm still getting used to them, or brakes or so. Like you can really like every element if you can play it right. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
the sun's in my eyes on that run. That was really tricky, you know. They never believe me anymore. I've used enough of them, but I do have my gloves that have like at least 8 usable excuses on them that are pretty
Right.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw those. Those are great
Well,
in case you forget. Yeah,
so
you're like,
stupid.
"Which."
It's
Yeah.
like coming up with these funny ideas. Like you never know how it's going to be taken. Luckily, they sold well, but it was definitely on brand. And that's like, I don't really do merch. I haven't done it in years, but like I'll
Mhm.
probably get back into it. But like, it's got to be at least on brand. And it was ridiculous. So I appreciated the people that supported it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I really avoid trying to make excuses on a ride. I mean, self-deprecating is
Oh, yeah.
great. Like, and if people know that you're saying it just as a joke, but yeah, I notice when you hear other people say that, you're like, man, you don't need to make an excuse, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
okay that we're waiting for you, or like, yeah, don't worry about it. Why do you ever catch yourself making an excuse, like, genuinely and being like, "Ah, I don't wanna
Oh,
make an
100%.
excuse."
Like we
Yeah.
call each other all the time. We went on a ride one time with my buddy Kyle, and like he literally, without even thinking about it, had listed off three different excuses that were on my gloves. Like I think we were riding Crested Butte or something. We both had our
Yeah.
gloves on and stuff. And I was like, Kyle, do you realize what you're doing right now? So it's like, it definitely comes out. It happens. And one thing I noticed also, it's funny with like e-bikers, it's getting less and less now, but like early stage of e-biking, you would run into an e-biker on the trail, and one, they'd be like, oh, I'm cheating today. I'm like, now you're having fun. Go have fun. But
Yeah.
secondly, they'd be like, I still got my regular bike, so I'm still fit. And I'm like, you don't have to explain yourself to me, Aaron. Just go have fun. You know
Right,
what I mean? Like,
right.
but it's
Yeah.
definitely a thing.
Yep, for sure. So tell us a bit about the adventure scientists and the California Biodiversity Project.
Man, this is so cool, and it's so right up my alley. You know what I mean? Like when they reached out to me, I kind of like wasn't sure what it was. So you get like as everything, you got to vet everything. You go to the website and you're like, okay, it looks legit. So I ended up getting on phone calls with them and stuff. And really, what they wanted to do is, mountain bikers as a whole can get into remote places, and we do. We get into really weird places sometimes to ride,
Hmm.
and so we can get to these. We can access these remote locations and help them gather biodiversity data for California. And so,
Hmm.
like, I did some research. You do a little bit of a training and it's really quick, but it helps you understand. Like, you get a trowel and some gloves and some sanitizing things. And like, the goal is to get up into the mountains and gather biodiversity samples for the adventure scientists. And I told you, like, this was already 100% right up my alley because I get distracted on rides constantly. I'm always looking at animals and creatures and plants, and I'm taking pictures of flowers to see like what genus or species they are, just because I'm like, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
So this happens constantly. So this is going to be a great little partnership during the summer. And they're looking for anybody that wants to jump in and do this, especially if you're in California. I know they have like multiple projects going on all over the place. So if you go to the
Hmm.
website, you can actually see a list of their projects. So it's not just California.
Okay.
But for this case, like Southern to Northern California, but that's stupid. That's all of California. But yeah, in this case, they're like looking for us mountain bikers in California. And I think they've got like hikers and trail runners and stuff doing it. And like the
Yeah.
goal here for me is to like have more mountain bikers than either of those combined. And that's what
Right.
we got
It's
to
a bit of
do.
a competition.
Yeah, but it's cool. Like throw a trowel in the pack, throw a thing, and then like you're already up there. I'm gonna be up at Everstoke, my buddy's property, Brian's property, all next week, and I'm gonna be gathering a tons of samples because I'm gonna have the kids up with me. We're gonna be hiking Lakes Basins area, but we're also gonna be doing some riding and stuff. So I'm bringing the kit with me. I'm gonna fill it up. So they're gonna need to send me a new one after this.
Yeah. Well, do they have like certain areas where they're like, okay, we need stuff from these areas, or are people just kind of gathering it wherever they can and
Yeah, I think
maybe
it's
just
all over.
gonna,
And if when you take the
okay.
training, they kind of explain like these are the kind of things you're looking for. So we get like multiple samples out of the area that could be different based on, maybe there's a bush over here and maybe there's a tree structure over here. And they kind of give you a window of what to look for
Hmm.
because each area could have something a little different. And
Hmm.
they're also like gathering insect data, which I got to go on and take the insect training. I just got back. I've been out of town for like a full week and I'm just getting like caught up with everything.
Hmm.
But I 100% want to do the insect thing. Like, I think they
Really?
send you a net and everything. I'm so on board with that. Like, I'm like so excited. I'm like,
Wow.
I had my son sitting here when I was doing the training. And I was like, all right, Frankie, you got to remember this stuff too. Cause yeah, we're going to be out on a ride. And I'm like, all right, here's a good spot. Let's do it, and to
Yeah.
get them involved too. Cause I love that stuff, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's cool. And so once the project has a lot of this data, what are they going to be doing with that and what's kind of the goal?
Yeah, so their processing is conservation. So it's like, if there's something specific, it sounds like with the biodiversity data that is associated with the conservation of this thing, then they have provable data that it's out there, and we want to make sure it stays safe. So
Mhm.
that again is right up our alley, especially with all the stuff in the news going on about lands being bought and all this stuff. It turns out us outdoor folk have a good, strong voice, and we love the outdoors. And I am convinced that being outside is the greatest thing on the planet. Like I love being up in the mountains and by the rivers and by the lakes and everything. And everybody knows that when you go outdoors, you come back feeling better. It's like there's no question about it.
Yeah.
Even if you suffered a big crash on the bike. But like, anybody that works and stuff, when you go out for the weekend, you come in on a high, man. Like you're just really feeling it. And it's so important for people to like stop finding excuses not to get outside. Like you just got to go. Get out on
Yeah.
the kayak, get on the paddleboard, get on the mountain bike. Like you can just go explore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, who do you think's got the edge in this competition? Is it the hikers? Is it the trail runners?
Better
Okay.
not be
Yeah.
either of those. It better be the mountain bikers. Yeah,
Right.
so that's the goal. Like I got to spread the word a little bit more. I meant to bring my pack up to Slide Park yesterday to get some samples, but I
Mhm.
left it in the counter. I'm still like getting reassociated. I've been all over the place in the last couple of days, but yeah, I definitely got to do some more story posts and get people on board. But like to me, it's super cool because we're already, like I said, all of us mountain bikers are already in weird locations. And you just throw that
Mhm.
in the pack and like it's a cool little bonding experience too, I think. And they've got a
Yeah.
Strava group set up, so there could be challenges set up and stuff like that. So there's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like they could just analyze our tires, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know if you have a dog. I used to have a dog, and every time I would come back from a ride, my dog would spend like 20 minutes sniffing the tires, right? Because he's like,
Yeah,
what did you go through? You know?
I know, no kidding. It's mostly horse poop.
Right. Exactly. It's different kinds of poop, I'm
Yep.
sure. Different dog poops along the way.
That's the
So,
funniest thing about like this gathering samples is like being scientific, which is part of the fun too, where they give you like a what do you call it? A beaker, not a beaker. What could
pipettes?
I, I should have paid attention in school. Anyways, but you got to like put on the gloves so you keep everything completely separate, no cross contamination and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, that's right up my alley. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
nice. So, yeah, I mean, you mentioned that you're into, like, looking at stuff on the trail, finding
Mhm.
weird stuff. What are some of the weirdest or most interesting things you've found on a mountain bike ride?
Oh man. There's been a lot. Like I spotted a fox the other day. Like when you go to Whistler, there's bears all over the place. But like in Downeyville, there's these weird. I don't know if they're caterpillars or if they're like what you call them, but like they form these like web nests on this specific plant,
Mhm.
and then when you get up next to them, and as they get bigger, they wiggle like this if you make noise. Like they'll like the
Oh,
whole
wow.
there'll be like 30 of them in this little web thing on it like a branch, and then they'll all just be like they'll do like this as soon as you make noise, and it's like the
Huh.
weirdest thing. And I forget the species or whatever they are, but every time my friends will come up to me and look at me, and they'll see me yelling at a plant, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I do it every time. Like we went up to Downeyville. They're still like tiny right now, so they're not as
Mhm.
active. But you'll see that in the Tahoe area. You'll see that like near Downeyville and stuff. And they're just like it looks like a spider nest of
Huh.
webbing, but it's
Yeah.
actually these little like hundreds of little caterpillar things all over the place. So
Yeah,
that's kind of
wow.
fascinating. It's like the
Cool.
dream is spotting owls. I love spotting owls on the trail. Like if you can go on
Mhm.
a night ride and spot an owl, it's like the greatest thing. I've seen bobcats, I've seen all kinds of stuff, but I'm always looking rattlesnakes, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, there's a caterpillar here that looks super cool. I wish I knew the name. Now everybody's gonna be like, "What is this caterpillar?" But looks super cool. But if you touch it, it stings, and it
Oof.
feels like 100 bee stings.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeesh. Then you don't
Mm,
find out until you find out. When I was in
right.
Spain, I went to go climb this structure to get a cool picture, and I didn't realize that the all around the structure was stinging nettles. And so I was like,
Ooh.
oh, I was like, why is my leg burning for like 20, 30 minutes? And the guy's like, oh yeah, you just went through a bunch of stinging nettles. I'm like, oh God,
Right.
at least I
Yeah.
know what it feels like.
Yeah, I guess you gotta be careful collecting these samples. I mean, are you taking, like, leaves or different, like, growing stuff, or is it all just dirt
No, it sounds
and
like soil samples. So
okay.
basically, like if there's like what would you call it, like pine needles and stuff, you kind of clear that around the zone you're looking to gather. Then you kind
Mhm.
of like get the soil samples underneath, and you get it inside the vial and seal it up, and then wrap it. And then they provide all the shipping data and stuff, so you'll be able to get that back
Mm.
to them. So it's like the soil specifically, and also like I said, the insect stuff, which is
Hmm.
pretty cool.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
are you giving, like, exact coordinates of where you
Yeah.
picked it up?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
need
yeah,
a
that's a good question.
GPS?
So they have
Okay.
an app that ties into it. So when you like gather the sample, you can geo tag it with the app, and so they know exactly where you gathered the sample and everything.
Mm.
And again, right at my alley. This is like I'm nerding out already on this stuff. So
Yeah.
you tie it into the app, you geolocate exactly where you took the sample, and they'll have that data from all over the place. And
Hmm.
it's cool because like again, California is very big. Like it like
Yeah.
lengthwise, it's very big. So there's a lot of different biomes. And I know that because I went, obviously I travel a lot to ride all over the place, Southern California, Northern California, everything. But road trips, moto trips recently, we went out to Mammoth and we're exploring all these, different fire roads and exploration stuff. And there's so many different biomes that even from Mammoth back to here, it's like, it's absurd. It's
Yeah.
absolutely nuts. And like, you can see like now every time you transition in a new biome, whether it's like a desert style area at like 7,000, 8,000 feet outside Mono Lake or somewhere else, like when you see that transition, you're like, this would be a good place to get a sample because it's different than the
Oh,
last
right.
place you're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe if you find something new, like some insect they've never seen, like, do you get to name it?
Oh, that would be the best. That'd be the greatest thing.
Yeah. It'd be a real feather in your cap.
Yeah, I know. It'd be epic.
Yeah. So, you've obviously built a really strong community around your Calirado Kid channel, but how do you balance sort of entertainment and what you're doing with making a positive impact with projects like this?
Yeah, it's hard because like a lot of people come to me just for jokes. So it's like even when it comes to like bike recommendations and stuff, maybe they're not coming to me for actual advice, but like it's tricky to mix that in because when you're always filming skits and stuff, when you put in something different, it does far worse because it's just not the norm.
Mm,
But
mhm.
you also have to realize it's your channel. You can put whatever you want out there. So
Right.
it's balancing that stuff. And really, the story post, there's always such a good, strong reaction from people because it's like when I'm out there doing an animal, I call them the Calirado Kid animal adventure tours, and
Mhm.
I start just spotting stuff and everything. You'll always have people chiming in from all over the place. And luckily, the audience is global. So it's like you get people from Spain being like, oh, we have those here, or like whatever it is, right? Like, and it's pretty cool to have that
Mm,
dialogue and have people interact. And I'm always pretty good about messaging back to people. So
mhm.
it's kind of fun to have those conversations and figure out what people's perspectives are from all over the globe. It's been a really cool like side result of building this kind of big following.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, one challenge it seems like though is like the algorithm, right? Like if you make a funny video, you're going to reach millions. If you make
Yeah.
like a sciencey video, like yeah, maybe it won't go as far.
Yeah,
Do
and
you
that's the
find that
question.
or
Like
yeah?
one of the skill sets we've been able to do, and even when we do like sponsor things, it's like how do you make it still fun and entertaining in addition to
Mhm.
informative? And like I've done work with IMBA, which is the International Mountain Bike Association, and we did some informational stuff that did really well. And it was, trail etiquette or it was like
Right.
classes of e-bikes, but because I delivered the information in a fun way, like you see such a big adoption of it. So
Yeah.
that's always the creative challenge for us is like how do you make something still funny but also topical and cover
Mhm.
some information. So that's one of the skill sets we have. It's like a honing the knife, right? We just
Yeah.
I'm not going to make something super serious. There's always going to be something fun about it that brings it to
Mhm.
my style of content. Is if it's not my style, it's not me, So
Yeah. Yeah. It's like hiding vegetables in your kids' cookies,
exactly
like
right.
shredding
Exactly
it
right.
up and putting it in the dough.
Exactly right.
So, yeah, obviously you're based in California.
Mhm.
What are your favorite places to ride in the state?
Oh man, so Downeyville's at the top. Honestly, like I've already ridden Downeyville 4 times this year. We did multiple shuttle days up there already, and you just got to wait for the snow to melt. And it's like the I don't know, there's something about that place that I just love. It's a small mountain bike community in the summer, only a few businesses. It's just I love supporting the local, like Greg and his crew at Downeyville Outfitters and stuff. I love getting out there and showing support to the local community to keep this thing going. But the run is just exceptional. It's the views, the rivers, the tech, the everything I love about riding, and it's all in one trail system out in Downeyville.
Mm,
Um, and so that's probably my favorite place. Other than that, like I tend to stick somewhat local in the Northern California area. Like Nevada City's great. They've just built a bunch of dedicated downhill mountain bike trails, which is unusual for California, like
mm,
actual dedicated downhill for mountain biking.
yeah.
So that's been a sick thing with the Bonk, which is the Bicyclists of Nevada County, I believe, their trail org,
Mhm,
and they've done a tremendous job out there advocating and all that. So yeah, there's been some great stuff, and we got some great options. And I'm really hoping to get out and explore Tahoe more this year. It always came down to like time because I was working, and
mhm.
so now I guess this is what I do,
Right,
which is
right.
awesome. It's still setting in, but like now I could go explore Tahoe more often and get some sites out there and map those trail systems in my head.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that you decided to do your channel full time this
Yeah,
year, which is awesome.
yeah.
What are you gonna spend that extra time doing? It sounds like more riding mostly?
Yeah, I've definitely been doing more riding. I've been taking the kids out more, which is something that was hard to do when you're basically like, it would be a Saturday and I had a 4 hour window to shoot all the videos I needed to shoot and get a ride in. So riding often suffered. And now I spend a little bit more time enjoying myself on the rides. I can film
Mm,
and, I've got more window now, which is
yeah.
really nice. And then, adventuring more. Like I'm going to be traveling up to Whistler. Jess and I have done some trips. We did Tucson, for example, recently, which was a great trip. We've been out to Oaxaca. And so, yeah, and I'm doing a road trip up to Oregon and stuff. So there's been some fun travel opportunities that like I'm not restricted to time, and that's technically work. So
Mm,
I can film
mhm.
along the way as I'm making videos. It all contributes to the channel and it all works out pretty well. So it's crazy. It's kind of the dream come true.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of people struggle with that for sure. I mean, mountain biking is very time consuming as far as hobbies go, even. I mean,
Yeah.
it can be a tough one for people for sure.
Yeah, because you got to drive to the trailhead, you got to get everything loaded up, you got to get out and ride, you got to get back to the place. So again, like sometimes you want to go to a place, but it's a 4 hour drive. So that's like, how do you just wake up at 3 a.m., get out there, get your ride in, and get back? Do you go back there and stay for the weekend? Like, and so those are all time from the family. So it's like always balancing that stuff. And I think that's one thing the industry kind of like forgets about is that like a
Mhm.
lot of us are like that. Like we don't have all the
Right.
time in the world to ride every day. We don't have time to get super, super great on the bike. So we're out there just hanging out with our buddies, having a great ride. And, we might get 2 rides a week if we're lucky,
Right. Yeah.
So like there's definitely a lot of people like that. And that is, I think people forget about that sometimes. Like we can't all be sending, 40-foot gap jumps.
Right. Right. Do you have good trails near you? Are you able to like ride from your house and get
No,
to
I've got
trails?
like a basically like there's a river path that's paved and it's kind of like it's scenic, it's really nice, but it's I like definitely I'd zone out. I get so bored on like paved trail stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and it's funny, it's a video I gotta make actually. I've been meaning to shoot this one, but the premise is like climbing on the road is like awful, whereas like doing the same climb on like a single track is great. Like it doesn't, like, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like for some reason when you get on the road on the mountain bike climbs, it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is so boring.
It just seems so much slower too, right? Because you're
Yeah.
like, if I was in a car, this would be over, like that.
Yeah. I'd rather, for some reason, as soon as the wheels touch dirt, we're like happy. And like if it's
Right.
not on dirt, it's just something.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
not reflective of road biking, by the way. I'm just saying when you're on a mountain bike, the climbing on the road sucks compared to climbing on the dirt. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Right. Are you worried when you put content out that like people are going to take it the wrong way, or that, I mean, it sounds like you're trying to stoke everybody up, whether they're riding road bikes or mountain bikes. But do you get comments from people that you're like, oh no, I wasn't trying to make fun of you? Like,
No,
it's
I
all
think
good.
I'm in general pretty respectful. I think a lot of the stuff that is a jab tends to be like directed at me specifically. So it's kind of like we
Mm,
talk about self-deprecating humor. Like I never purposely like say, one group's bad. Like we might take a jab at road bikers every now and then, but they got a good sense of humor. I might take a
right.
jab at equestrians every now and then, but they're not watching anyways. And whatever. So,
Right.
it is what it is. But I never do anything malicious, and that's been nice. I think that limits the amount of negativity on the channel. And we're just kind of
Hmm.
like, everybody gets it's a joke. They've settled in to understand that what I'm doing is like, probably going to be just all fun. You know what I mean?
Right. So you're not going to weigh in on like 29er versus 27.5. Like
And you
that's
can, but
not
you can take it like you could just there's ways to do little funny jokes without jabbing at somebody being like, you're an
right.
idiot. Like
Right. One
that's where a
side
lot of
is
people go
right,
wrong
one's
is like,
wrong.
why stir up the hornet's nest? I guess unless you
Yeah.
want engagement, which you can do, but that's not, I'm not trying to do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Very refreshing for
Hmm.
sure. So tell us, I mean, you mentioned a few things that you're going to be doing this year, but what else are you working on right now? Anything exciting coming down the pipeline for your social media channels?
Yeah, I mean, right now this summer is just planning where I can go, how I'm going to do it, and so it's going to be very busy in terms of filming and riding all over the place. But the kids have all these camps, so I'm still trying to figure out like what our pickup schedules and all this stuff. Like, there's still
Yeah. Yeah.
logistics involved, right? So it's like it's not all freedom all the time, and that's not a bad thing. But it's just like, all right, so where can I go? And so we're trying to lock down the dates and all that and get it all organized. Like
Hmm.
I said, we're going to be up at Crankworks for my first time this year. I've always kind of put that off because I was working and I was like, I kind of used my vacation for Sedona Mountain Bike Fest and all these other places. So this year I'm going to get out there. I'll be up there for a couple weeks actually up in Whistler. So that's going to be kind of late July, early August. I'll be up there for quite a while.
Hmm.
So planning that stuff out. I guess they've got like an e-bike enduro race. So I may get entered into that for some reason and see how that goes. I don't know, but one of the things I've always wanted to do is really like train to do some racing, but I just never seem to get around to it. And like to show up at a race without any proper like prep is like it's fun, but it's not like I don't know. Maybe for the video ideas. I've done one enduro race and one XC race in my illustrious career, and they were
Uh-huh.
both really fun. The people were incredible. Like the community was amazing around it. I'd love to do it more often. I just feel like it never pops into my radar for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's a different scene and one that I think would be fun to watch you explore.
Yeah, you definitely like everything different or new that I do brings in new ideas. So like
Mm,
I've always been a firm believer of investing in yes, right? It's like why when you say
mhm.
no, what's going to come of that? When you say yes, you might get into some weird situations. It might be bad, it might be good. You'll have a good story to tell no matter what. So it's like oftentimes like they ask me like, oh, do you want to do this e-bike enduro race? Well, we're up there. I'm like, yeah, well, sure, why not? Let's see where it
Yeah.
goes. It's just like instead of being like, I'm kind of nervous. I don't know if nah, let's just do it. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
What's the worst going to happen?
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
now the
Such a
problem is I'm going to be really slow on the race. It's going to be stopping to gather samples for the adventure scientists. I'm just going to like pull off and be like, what are you doing?
Right, right. And everybody's gonna recognize you now too. I mean, is that an issue that, yeah, you get stopped on your rides and people are like, "Oh, hey, it's Calirado
Yeah,
Kid."
but like it does. There's not anywhere that I don't go that I don't get recognized now, which is crazy. But I also like got into this for that reason. Like I,
Hmm.
I kind of
Yeah.
always got into this to entertain more than anything. Like,
Mhm.
and so even yesterday's a good example. I was filming something and I was just sitting there kind of like collecting my thoughts because I had scripted it out and I shot both parts and all the angles and all that stuff. So I was kind of sitting there getting ready to pack all the gear up and go ride. And then two younger guys come up and they recognize me. And, one of them told me like, oh, you're one of the reasons why I got into mountain biking. I'm like, I
Oh,
don't
wow.
believe that.
That's
I just make
awesome.
bad jokes. But we sit there and talk. Like I talked their ear off for like 20 minutes. Like they're like, oh, we don't want to. Sorry, we're taking up your time. I'm like, oh, it's like to me that's the most positive side effect of this whole thing of being what you would call an international celebrity, right? It's like I like to hang out and talk to people. You meet a lot of cool people all over the place, and like unless I'm really, really, really strapped for time, I'll usually sit there and just hang out with people. Like that's more important to me than like getting my ride in. So we'll still get the ride in, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
spending. So when I go to festivals, same thing. The priority is like when people come up, I just spend time with them. Like who knows? Like it's just I like to talk to people anyway. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, well, it really comes through in your videos and super entertaining to watch. And yeah, just such a great attitude that you bring to the sport. Awesome to see.
it's been good. I mean, I owe mountain biking a lot. It changed my life. I once I got into mountain biking, I've said it before, I got reinvigorated with the outdoors, and I was living this mundane, not mundane, but it was just routine, right? Where you go to work, you
Hmm.
come home, and it was just like all that. And then once I started mountain biking, it like made me want to go find trails. Maybe, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's like I'm buying kayaks and buying new tents and camping gear and fishing
Hmm.
poles and
Yeah.
everything else. And so it's all because of mountain biking, and I still love mountain biking. I get out on a trail and I just have like you zone out and you forget everything else and you just enjoy the views and the smells and the scents and the danger. And
Yeah.
there's everything. Like when you're going down a trail that you're hauling down fast and you got to focus, like nothing else matters. Like all you're worried about for that descent is just exactly this the trail ahead. And I love that because we got a lot going on in our lives these days. There's a lot going on out there, and so it's nice to just like focus in, lock it in.
Yeah. Well said. Well, Joe, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us and share a little bit about the California Biodiversity Project. Yeah, can't wait to see what you have next.
Oh, can I pitch them? Okay, so if anybody wants to sign up, which I 100% recommend, like go in there, volunteer. If you're in California or if you're in vacationing, maybe you can sign up and like jump in and gather some samples while you're here, but ship them out.
Hmm.
But like you can go to adventurescientist.org. You can go adventurescientist.org, like backslash Calirado dash kid, but that could be mildly confusing. I
Yeah.
suspect as a scientist or as a creative thinker, you could go to their website and figure out how to sign up for this. Like if you can go through that barrier level, because
Yeah.
sometimes like as a creator, we want to give people a single click to get to the product. Like, all right, here's this one thing you can click to buy the t-shirt, right? That
Yeah.
way it makes it as easy as possible for the person to like not have anything in their way to get
Right.
that thing, right? In this case, you kind of got to be a creative thinker, right? Like, so you got to like, all right, well, we get to the website and then, okay, there's the projects that like, I kind of want people to have to like look around a
Yeah.
little bit, it's like, because those are the people that will go the extra mile, right? Like,
That's
if you
true.
put a few steps in their way and they still go and do it, those people will go the extra mile and do the work, right? So it's like, I'm
Yeah.
not saying everybody's lazy,
Absolutely.
but go to adventurescientist.org and find it. You can find the California Biodiversity Project. It is easy. They have a project list. You can track it down, sign up, do the training, and then like message me on IG. There's a Strava group too, but like I wouldn't mind doing a group ride for this if people are up for it. Like getting people together in like Auburn or Tahoe or something. Like, hey, let's all bring our kits and let's go gather. I think that'd be super fun. I don't know if
Yeah.
people would be down for it, but I think it'd be great.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll definitely have that link in the show notes. We don't want to make it too easy though. So you're gonna have to like stop your podcast,
Yeah.
take the earphones out, find the description, click the link. It's gonna open Chrome. But anyway, there's gonna be a link there. And then also, yeah, be sure to follow Calirado Kid on social media. His videos are hilarious and you'll really enjoy them.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's funny we talk about that. Sorry, I know we're ending this thing, but like the idea of putting a few steps in people's way, like that is the ultimate qualifier. Like the harder something is to do, the less people will do it. And
Right.
that's why I think mountain bikers, hikers, we get into these places because we're willing to pedal up. We're willing to get to these places that just nobody's going to be because we don't mind a little punishment in our lives. So a few extra steps to get to something that's unique. And so I'm a firm believer in that.
Yes. Mountain bikers rule. We're the
Hmm.
best.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's all we've got this week. We'll talk to you again next week.
Jeff,
All
great
right.
talking to you, brother.
Yeah, you too. All right. Stop.